Good morning, y'all. This is Lei Hua with Lei Hulu Arts, and I wanted to show today on what to do when you find a mistake and you're doing a humu papa. And I'll show you here. I'm making this pheasant hatband, and when you're looking at the pheasant hatband from the side, you can see it's nice and thick and smooth. It has a nice little mound. But when I get to these little grays, do you see how flat it is here? And then we have this bump. And I actually put, I put 10 feathers per row. So I stacked them to try and fill it in. These feathers tend to be very, very fine. They look like this. They're very fine, and so they tend to be really flat. And I was going to put an underlayer, which is what I usually do, and I didn't this time, thinking, okay, I'll just do double the length. But you can see there's a distinct bump and a distinct difference from the rest. These feathers here also tend to do the same. I did an extra layer of this feather. These are the almonds. I don't have any available. The almonds, they'll do that. Oh, here's one. These are the almonds, and they're also extremely flat and tend to need an underlayer because we want to have an even mound when we're going around. We want this to not be like a roller coaster ride or whoop-de-doos, but look how flat that is. So I'm going to show you today how to take these apart without damaging the feathers. So hold on a second. So how do we start this? Well, first we look at where is the bump at? Where do we want the feathers to come out at? So of course I'm going to want all these feathers to come out, and I'm going to feel the end of this bump, and that's where I need to take the feathers out to. So how do I do that? I flip this over, and I'm going to start clipping these threads back here that sewed it on, all this hard work, hours and hours of work. But I'll tell you what, if something bugs you, and I tell this to all my students, all my haumana, if something's bugging you, take it out when you see it. Because if you wait, you might have 10 inches to take out rather than just 3 inches. Like here I have less than 2 inches of feathers that I need to remove. So I'm just gonna snip these out. And then I have these really awesome, by the way, these are from the Cricut machines, but they're the best tweezers to use for this. And I can start taking out some of these strings, and they'll come out. A lot of them will just pull out. But what I'm going to do is, those are loose now. The proper way to take out a feather is to have a nice pair of tweezers and to grab the base, the quill, and if I just pull the quill towards me, I've not damaged the feather. If I pull the feather the other direction, it's going to splay the feathers and they may not be usable again. But you can see I could take these out pretty quickly, and because I've already loosened the knots on the back, I could take these out pretty quickly without damaging the feathers. Okay, I've finished taking off the grays here, and if you look, I haven't damaged the feathers at all. I got a pile of rubbish of my string or my thread, and the felt looks clean on both sides. It's most important that this is the side that looks clean, because this is the side that people are going to look at for your skill level and see how well your lei has been made. There should be no knots or loops or strings sticking out on this. Okay, back again. So I've taken out all those feathers and the stitching in the back, and I did an underlayer here, you can see, of black goose coquille. And you make this from 1 to 3 to 5 feathers thick, depending on how thick you want your desired feathers to be. So on this one, I ended up using 3 feathers per row, an 1/8 of an inch apart, because these very thin gray feathers, these pheasant gray feathers are so thin, and I put them 1/4 inch apart so that you can see some of the detail of the feathers. So I did make a little thicker underlayer, but it pays off because now you can see that my mound or my pu'u matches the rest of the lei. So now I have a very beautiful classic pheasant hatband coming together very nicely. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, concerns, or you want something else to be shown, please let me know. nahuluarts.com. Bye-bye.